Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Aradhyo Bhagavan Brajesh Tanayas Tadhama Vrindavanam Ramya Kachitupasana Brajavadhu Vargena Vakalpita Srimad Bhagavatam Pramana Mamalam Prema Pumartho Mahan Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu Madamidam Tatra Dharana Paraha Anarpita Charichirat Swargavatirna Kalau Samarpayitum Unnatojvala Rasam Swabhakti Shriyam Hari Purada Sundara Dyuti Kadamba Sandipita Sada Hridaya Kandare Spuratu Vashachi Nandana Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jagat Mangala Dvaita Mangala Gunadham Mangala Charitra Sada Mangala Jarana.
Hare Krishna. We'd like to welcome all of our dear listeners over YouTube Live, over Facebook Live, and all of our dear listeners who have joined us over Zoom. Thank you so much for joining us. And we are ever grateful to all of you for your kind association upon us. Before we proceed today, we'd first of all like to welcome you to day 63 of Sri Gauramrita. And before we proceed, we would like to announce and congratulate the participants of the quiz session from yesterday, from day 62. So we'd like to thank and congratulate Hari Prasad Prabhu. He has been so wonderful, so faithfully from day one, not missed even a single day. He has been doing the quiz. So thank you so much, Hari Prasad Prabhu. Mother Flavia, my dearest Amrita Radhika, thank you so much in spite of your busy and hectic schedule for participating in the quiz. Our dearest Anjali, thank you so much for participating in the quiz. We are so grateful to you that you're so attached, and you also have shown so much dedication, and without fail you not only yourself do, but you inspire others to participate in the quiz. So we are very grateful to you for that. And Nutan Purohit Mataji, her sincerity in answering the quiz questions is something that always inspires us to keep doing this service, because she takes special time out just to make sure, so sincerely, just to make sure that she sends in her answers. So Nutan Purohit Mataji, we are ever grateful to you. Thank you so much. And our dearest Ranjani Gopika, thank you for the wonderful, wonderful and perfect answers that you share with everyone in the group, in all of the groups. We are very grateful to you for helping all the devotees to know the right answers and for coming up with the brilliant questions. Thank you so much for this service. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you again. Today in session 63, we will continue to describe the transcendental treasure trove of Sri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's devotional pastimes. And we'll discuss the grief of Sacimata, of Srimati Vishnupriya Devi, and the residents of Vrindavan. The residents of Nadia. A mystical and transcendental connection, that how Lord Gauranga feels the pain, the loving separation, and the selfless love of Sacimata and the residents of Nadia. Then we'll conclude today's session by describing the Phala Stuti, the benefits we receive by listening to these transcendental pastimes of Sri Gaurahari. In his Sri Chaitanya Mangala, Srila Lochan Das Thakur very vividly describes the unparalleled grief of Sacimata and Vishnupriya Devi, Srimati Vishnupriya Devi, along with the residents of Nadia. In yesterday's session, we discussed how Sri Chandrasekhara Acharya was crying bitterly as he remembered Lord Chaitanya. He then set out to Navadvip. The people of Nadia were just anxiously waiting to hear the news about Lord Gauranga from Chandrasekhar. In fact, Srila Lochan Das Thakur says, it is just impossible for me to describe this heartbreaking scene in Navadvip about the return of Chandrasekhar Acharya, because Chandrasekhar Acharya, he walked into Navadvip with streams of tears just drenching his face. And all the Vaishnavas just ran to see him. They wanted to welcome him, but they just couldn't speak. All the residents of Nadia broke down crying upon seeing this sorrowful condition of Chandrasekhar Acharya. Sachi Devi, hearing that Chandrasekhar Acharya had arrived, Sachi Devi went mad. With her hair railing, she ran down the road, just dragging herself down the road, shouting the name of her beloved son, Nimai, Nimai. Then she didn't see her Nimai. Not seeing her Nimai, Sacimata felt anxious and disturbed in her heart. Where's my beloved Nimai? Sacimata said to Chandrasekhar Acharya, where did you leave him? Where? How and where did we get his head shaved? Did you see that? Who is that wretched sannyasi who so cruelly gave my son sannyas initiation? Where is that sannyasi's compassion for others? And that barber, who's that worthless barber who shaved that beautiful hair of my son? Oh, how sinful is that man who touched my son's hair with razor? That cruel barber, how could he continue living after touching Nimai's head with a razor? Tell me, Chandrasekhar Acharya, after sannyas, from how many houses did my Nimai beg alms?
Just imagine the condition of Sacimata. Here is her butter soft, delicate child, Nimai. You know, it is said that for a mother, the child never grows up. Her child is always her child. You know, however old the child may become of age, but still the mothers conceive their child, they perceive their child just to be their own baby, just as a little baby, little child. This was the condition of Sacimata and her love. And this particular line, that from how many houses did Nimai beg for alms after his sannyas ceremony, is like a heart-shattering statement for Sacimata to even ask. Because she knows that the life of a sannyasi is nothing less than that of a beggar. A beggar lives by begging alms in others' households. This is the duty of a sannyasi. They don't earn anything. All they do for their sustenance is that they beg alms from the others. That is the humble position of a sannyasi. And for Sacimata, you know, her prince of a son, Nimai is the prince of Nadia. He's like the prince. He's like the crown prince of Nadia. And for this prince, you know, of course, for every mother, her child is king. Every mother, be they poor, be they rich, be they middle class family, for every mother, her child is king. And for the kingly child, to beg alms from others is a plight worse than death for mothers. Srila Prabhupada, in this connection, he says, whenever we read these heart-wrenching, comments by Sacimata, what she is undergoing in separation from her beloved child Nimai. Srila Prabhupada's statement about how a mother's heart should be. Srila Prabhupada made this comment that the heart of a devotee should be like that of a Bengali mother, Srila Prabhupada said. And Sacimata actually personifies that heart of a Bengali mother. That is how Srila Prabhupada is actually making this, we can understand how Srila Prabhupada can, we can relate it with Sacimata's emotions.
And she asked Chandrasekhar Acharya, how does my son look with this shaved head? Oh, my son, alas, I'll never see you again. Now my life is covered in darkness. I can no longer cook for you. I can no longer offer food to you. I can no longer kiss your sweet cheeks or caress your beautiful body. Who will read your mind and understand when you are hungry? While Sacimata lamented like this, some devotees went to console Vishnupriya, and Vishnupriya's intense cries of lamentation just pierced the earth. Even the stone-like hearts of the birds, beasts, trees, and creepers, they began melting. Vishnupriya was saying, alas, how has the providence now become so cruel? Because my life has now become empty and meaningless. I never see his beautiful smile, his elegant body, or hear his nectarian way of talking. Hey Prabhu, where have you gone? Leaving me in darkness for the rest of my life. I will continually think of you because I can't see you. Some people criticize me. And now that I don't have any child, I should just die. What is the use of my living? For whom? I have worshipped your face with the eyes of Cupid. Now you tell me, how can I live without seeing you? In separation from you, many women have died before. So why is this unfortunate one still living? My dear Gaura Sundar, where have you gone? I'm alone, devoid of my Lord. It is said in the Vedas that the women must have a protector. Now, where will I go and find shelter? I can't leave. Better I just die here. And you have left your mother just alone, destitute. Where have you gone? How can she live without seeing you? Why doesn't my sinful body just perish immediately? And Vishnupriya, saying this, just cried and rolled on the ground as she exhaled hot breath from her nose. Her lips just dried up and her body shivered. Her hair and dress were just disheveled. Vishnupriya was just lying on the ground helplessly. Sometimes she would just faint when she meditated on Vishwambhar's reddish lotus feet. And then she would regain consciousness. Again, she would remember the Lord and then scream, Lord, 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 hey Prabhu. And Vishnupriya's weeping made everyone else weep. And whoever came trying to comfort Vishnupriya, they broke down there too. One devotee said, Vishnupriya, listen, try to control yourself. You know the Lord's activities. Just remember the Lord's activities and pacify your heart in this way. And then somewhere devotees got together and they talked. This sannyas, taking of sannyas of Lord Gauranga has just put all of us in a terrible state. How can he be so cruel? He just simply left us. How can we now live without his association? He's very famous for his kindness. So I guess let's just remember him by chanting Krishna Nam, and therefore thereby we can attain him like he promised us once. And we hear that he asked the residents of Katwa to go back and chant Krishna's names. And that's how we can remember him. And Sacimata, Vishnupriya, all the aged people, the women, children, and all the devotees, they just sat down to chant the holy names of Krishna and increase their remembrance of the Lord. And they were just then feeling a little pacified because of that.
Das Thakur, he describes a very mystical pastime. We see that the people, the residents of Nadia, the most exalted people living in Nadia, they were all drowning in ocean of sorrow. It was like the pain of the Himalayas was going to seem less if it is put on their head. That was the pain of separation that they were feeling from Sri Gaura Hari. So Srila Lochan Das Thakur, he describes a mystical pastime, that how Lord Gaura Sundara, how he feels the pain, the loving separation, the selfless love of Sacimata and all the residents of Nadia. How does that love reach Sri Gaura Hari? So Srila Lochan Das Thakur says that although Lord Gauranga, at that time, when the residents of Nadia, when Chandrasekharacharya arrived in Nadia and broke the news to Sacimata and to all the residents of Nadia, at that very moment, Lord Chaitanya was actually in Radhadesh. So when Lord Gauranga, the maddened lion, like a, Unmada lion, Unmada Singha, it is said. Unmada means mad, and the lion Simha. So Unmada Simha. When this Unmada Simha, why Lord Chaitanya is compared to a Simha? To the lion? Because the lion, if you notice, they have very broad shoulders and their waist is very thin. And then they grow again a little, towards the back. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's divine transcendental body is just like that. Broad shoulders, but very thin waist. And, he's as powerful, like the king of the jungle is the lion. So Lord Chaitanya, he's the king of all mankind. So therefore he is compared to this mad lion, Unmada Simha. So Lord Gauranga, this Unmada Simha, or this maddened lion, became bound by their pure chanting of the Hare Krishna mantra. When the residents of Nadia were crying tears of loving separation from the Lord became bound by that love when they were chanting in separation from the Lord. And Lord Chaitanya, he was standing beside Lord Nityananda and feeling that, that arrow-like pain, as if an arrow had pierced his heart. Lord Gauranga felt that pain of love piercing his heart, coming all the way from Nadia. And Gauranga Mahaprabhu, standing next to Lord Nityananda, he just leaned on Lord Nityananda's shoulder and he started crying profusely crying in separation from the residents of Nadia and Sacimata. The heartfelt crying of Srimati Sacimata, Srimati Vishnupriya Devi, and the most exalted devotees of Nadia reached the Lord mystically. It reached the Lord. And the Supreme Lord Sri Gaura Hari could feel their growing pain and their ever expanding selfless love for him. And at this time, while he was leaning on the shoulder of Lord Nityananda, Lord Gauranga said something very, very confidential to Lord Nityananda.
The Lord said, my dear Nityananda, please go to Navadvip and invite everyone to come and see me in Shantipur at Advaita Acharya's house. Tell my friends all about me, that I'll soon arrive at Shantipur, and you, Nitai, bring personally all the devotees from Navadvip to Advaita Acharya's house in Shantipur. And then Lord Gauranga smiled and bade farewell to Sri Nityananda Prabhu. So here, the reason the Lord was leaning on Lord Nityananda's chest was because he could feel the pain of separation of the devotees and the residents of Nadia, including his mother and his wife and everyone else. And therefore he asked Nityananda Prabhu to bring them to Shantipur, where they can feel some relief from this separation. In fact, it is said that Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita that Ishvara Sarva Bhutanam Riddesha Arjuna Tishtati, that the Supreme Personality of Godhead resides in everyone's heart. And he is the witness of all the activities of all living entities. One time, during the battle of Mahabharata in Kurukshetra, Bhishma Dev was at that time, Bhishma Dev was the commander-in-chief of the Kaurava army. So in the evenings, when the conch shells were blown and the battle was called off, everyone would go back to their tents, and Duryodhan went to Bhishma Dev's tent, and he was very disturbed. And Duryodhan told Bhishma Dev, I feel you are really, really not putting your heart into this battle. And Bhishma Dev said, what makes you think so? No, you are the greatest warrior. If you want, in one day, this battle can be finished. We can be victorious. But you are affectionate towards the Pandavas. You have natural affection towards them. And Arjuna, he's your favorite. That's why you are not putting your best. And Duryodhan rebuked Bhishma Dev in this way. And Bhishma Dev, Kshatriya, couldn't take this. He said, Duryodhan, I will prove you wrong. And he went and picked up 5 arrows from his quiver. He said, these 5 arrows, tomorrow the Pandavas will be killed by these 5 of my arrows. And then he put them to his forehead and chanted mantras, one for each Pandava, and said, these are the 5 arrows. Duryodhan's eyes lit up, and he immediately snatched those 5 arrows from the hands of Bhishma, and he said, I'll keep these 5 arrows with me, and you'll see them tomorrow morning.
There's no guarantee, because if you don't do it, what if you change your mind in the night? So I'll keep these arrows with me, and I'll make sure that you use the arrows tomorrow.
And Duryodhan, being very happy in his strategy to kind of excite Bhishma Dev, he was successful. He was very happy. Tomorrow the war will end. Pandavas will go. He was just very, very proudly looking at those 5 arrows. He went back to his tent. He kept those arrows under his pillow and said, now the war is, nobody knows this, and the war is finished. Just then he heard a knock on the door of his tent. And so he opened the door, and there was Arjuna. And in those days, of course, they were fierce enemies when they were battling. But then in the night, the enemies would go into each other's tents and have a chat and have some diplomatic discussions and stuff.
They were all relatives.
Yeah, after all, they were all relatives. Sometimes they would also reveal their own weaknesses to the others, which would be used the day later. And so many things would happen. So but Arjuna coming to Duryodhan's tent, that was unheard of. And Duryodhan, however he was a gracious host. And he said, Arjuna, come on in. So Arjuna came in. What brings you here to my tent? Arjuna said, Duryodhan,
My dear brother.
you are my elder brother. Do you remember that one time I had saved you from the Gandharvas when the Gandharvas were attacking you? I came and I fought with them and I saved you. Duryodhan scoffed and said, yeah, so what? Arjuna said, do you remember at that time, out of a moment of gratefulness, you asked me, what boon do I want? And you will give that boon to me. Duryodhan said, yeah, that was a moment of weakness, but that's okay. Yes, I remember that. He said, do you remember what did I say? Duryodhan said, what? What did you say? I said, I will take the boon later. And Duryodhan said, so? Arjuna said, I've come today for that boon. And Duryodhan said, oh, okay. Yeah, tell me what do you want? I'll give you whatever you want. I'll fulfill that boon for you. Arjuna said, I want those 5 arrows. Duryodhan's eyes just grew and his his jaw just dropped. 5 arrows? What 5 arrows? The same 5 arrows which you have kept from Bhishma, that Bhishma has chosen to kill. How do you know about that? No one knows about it. I just came back getting those arrows. How do you know? He said, Krishna told me. Krishna told me to go into your tent and ask for those 5 arrows. It is said that at that time, there was a moment when Duryodhan started having the belief, Krishna? How did Krishna know? Could Krishna be the Supreme Personality of Godhead? Duryodhan never believed that. Even when Krishna showed him the universal form, he didn't believe. But this was one moment where Duryodhan was forced to reconsider his position. Could Krishna be the Paramatma within everyone's heart? That was the only moment that Duryodhan believed that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Because Krishna had asked Arjuna to go and get those 5 arrows from Duryodhan, and this is the time to get your boon. Arjuna asked Krishna, how can I just go and ask for 5 arrows? And Krishna reminded Arjuna, do you remember when you saved Duryodhan from the Gandharvas? Now is the time to fulfill that boon. And Arjuna was, how did you even know? You were not even there when Duryodhan gave me that boon. And Krishna just smiled. He knows everything. He knew the boon that was given by Arjuna, by Duryodhan to Arjuna. He knew about the conversation between Bhishma and Duryodhan. And in this way, Duryodhan had to take those 5 arrows from his pillow and give them to Arjuna. So here we can understand Krishna is the supreme super soul, the Paramatma within everyone's heart. Similarly, Lord Sri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is non-different that same Krishna who is the Paramatma within everyone's heart, and he can understand all of our pains of separation. He witnesses and appreciates every little devotional activity, devotional service that we perform. When we paid obeisances to the Lord, we may forget, but Krishna never forgets eternally. He's ever grateful for every little activity. How much we should reciprocate with such a merciful Lord, the Supreme Personality of Godhead.
So here we see, I mean, when Prabhu was narrating this pastime, we have heard this pastime so many times. I was literally having goosebumps when Prabhu was narrating. Such beautiful narration, Prabhu. Thank you so much. But nonetheless, we do notice a striking similarity between the pastimes of Sri Krishna and the pastimes of Sri Gauranga Mahaprabhu. When Krishna was in Mathura, when Akrura took him away to Mathura, and the Brajvasis were in loving separation from Krishna, they were crying, and Krishna, understanding that pain, he told Uddhava that I am also drowning in an ocean of misery and sorrow and separation from the Brajvasis. Please, my dear Uddhava, please go to Braj, go to Vrindavan and tell them, give them my message. Tell them that we are going to meet soon at Kurukshetra. So this is very similar to what Lord Caitanya did right now. Lord Caitanya sent Lord Nityananda as his dear messenger. And he told Nityananda Prabhu that please go and tell the residents of Nadia to come and meet me at Shantipur. Following in the same mood, like how we understood that Krishna, he understands the heart of his devotees as the Paramatma, same way Lord Chaitanya understands, same way the spiritual master and Srila Prabhupada. Because the spiritual master is said to be the transparent via media through whom we actually come close to Krishna. We can reciprocate with Krishna.
And he is the external manifestation of the Paramatma within the heart.
Haribo, the external manifestation of the Paramatma is the spiritual master, is the Guru. So one time, there's a very beautiful pastime of Shrutakirti Prabhu. Shrutakirti Prabhu is a very wonderful disciple of Srila Prabhupada. And if we hear the memories of Shrutakirti Prabhu and Srila Prabhupada, the memories that he narrates, is he's such a joyful personality, and almost 85 to 90% of all the memories that Shrutakirti Prabhu shares about Srila Prabhupada is the ones that Srila Prabhupada is chastising Shrutakirti Prabhu. And Shrutakirti Prabhu feels very honored because he was the personal servant of Srila Prabhupada. And he says that whether Srila Prabhupada is glorifying someone, or whether Srila Prabhupada is chastising someone, in fact, when Srila Prabhupada chastises someone, that person is actually very, very dear and close to Srila Prabhupada. You know why? Because we can chastise only that person who we know that even if I chastise this person will not become angry. They will take this chastisement and try to rectify themselves. So receiving chastisement from the Guru is actually a great honor for the disciple. It's one of the greatest things that a disciple actually aspires for, to receive some chastisement from the Guru. So Shrutakirti Prabhu is such a glorious disciple of Srila Prabhupada, and he narrates a very beautiful pastime. He says that because Shrutakirti Prabhu was Srila Prabhupada's personal servant, that every afternoon Srila Prabhupada would take a massage, mustard oil massage on his body, sandalwood oil in his head. So Shrutakirti Prabhu would massage, sometimes other devotees would massage, and every Ekadashi, Srila Prabhupada, he would change his Brahman thread. So every Ekadashi, Srila Prabhupada would change his Brahman thread in the afternoon after taking his bath. And he would chant on both the old and the new Brahman thread together. And then the old one he would remove, and the new one he would continue to wear. Shrutakirti Prabhu had a brilliant idea one time. He thought to himself that I am the personal servant. And when Srila Prabhupada comes out after his bath in the afternoon, and before he takes prasad, he chants his Gayatri with the old and the new Brahman threads, 2 Brahman threads. And he gives me the old one. So imagine, I can get Prabhupada's, I can get Srila Prabhupada's worn Brahman thread that can be like the Maha that I can wear. And I can also, wearing Srila Prabhupada's Maha, the spiritual master's Mahaprasad. It's great mercy. So Srila Kirti Prabhu said, this time, this Ekadashi, I will take Srila Prabhupada's Brahman thread. He didn't tell this to anybody. He just thought this within his mind. So Srila Prabhupada, the Ekadashi came. And then when he came out of his shower, Srila Kirti Prabhu gave him the new Brahman thread. And Srila Prabhupada very nicely sat and chanted, his Gayatri on the two Brahman threads. And after he finished chanting Gayatri, he gave the old Brahman thread to Srila Kirti Prabhu. And he said, here, please take this. And Srila Kirti Prabhu was holding the Brahman thread in his hands. And he said, oh, the fulfillment of all my desires is right here in my hands. Right at that moment, Srila Prabhupada said, Srila Kirti, take this Brahman thread and dig little soil under the Tulasi plant and bury this thread, Brahman thread, under the Tulasi plant. So then Srila Kirti Prabhu saying, oh Krishna, how did Srila Prabhupada know I wanted his Brahman thread? So then he said, okay, what I will do is, I'll follow Srila Prabhupada's instruction. I will bury it under the Tulasi plant, but then right after that, after some time, I'll dig it out again and I'll use it. I'll keep it with me. So then Srila Prabhupada, right at that moment, Srila Prabhupada said, give me the Brahman thread. And he took the Brahman thread, and Srila Prabhupada broke the Brahman, the thread, Brahman thread. Srila Prabhupada broke it, broke each and every strand. He just tore each and every strand of the thread, and he gave it to Srila Kirti Prabhu in, like a bundle. Here, take. It was as if Srila Prabhupada was laughing at each of the plans of Srila Kirti Prabhu to keep the Brahman thread. But Srila Kirti Prabhu says, nonetheless, I buried it, the broken threads, and he has that as Mahaprasad also till today, but it's all broken. So this is one very sweet pastime where Srila Prabhupada knew what Srila Kirti Prabhu was thinking. You see, many times, our spiritual masters, Srila Prabhupada, they come to know whatever the disciples are undergoing in their life. They come to know it. They come to know about everything. So this is something very, very special, very unique that we have, that Krishna as Paramatma directs and connects us to the spiritual master, connects us with the devotees. So this is such a beautiful, mystical experience that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has. And tomorrow we will hear very, very blissful pastimes. In fact, tomorrow we will see a comparison between the Navadvip Leela and Braja Leela, Vrindavan Leela. So please stay tuned. And before we conclude today's session, let us hear the Phala Stuti.
It is said simply by hearing these mystical pastimes of the Lord, with complete faith, one can also develop the direct connection to the heart of Lord Gaurasundar through this transparent via media of Sri Guru and Srila Prabhupada. Anyone who faithfully listens, who derives joy from hearing this pastime, will see the beautiful face of Lord Gauranga directly. Adyapiha lila koren, Shri Gaurarai, kono kono bhagavan, dekhibare pai. Lord Chaitanya's pastimes are being performed even now. That's what this verse means. And whoever is blessed by the Lord to see, can see. Others cannot see. Ekhane rohila grantha, amrita lahari, badan bhare ekbar, bolo hari hari, hari hari, hari hari. So today we dedicate the chanting of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra to Ma and Baba, whose anniversary is today, my in-laws. And
actually, today is also the marriage anniversary of my in-laws also. They, both are parents, Mummy Papa, as well as Ma Baba. Both of their wedding anniversary is today, according to India time, 10th of March is their wedding anniversary. So we wish all four of them a very, very happy wedding anniversary. And we dedicate our chanting of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra for their well-being, for Mummy Papa's well-being, for Ma Baba's well-being. And we also dedicate the chanting of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra to all the devotees of the people of Ukraine, Russia, and all the devotees around the world who are in difficult situations. And may the Supreme, we pray that may the Supreme Lord Nrsingadev grant protection and fearlessness to everyone. So we would also like to request you that if you would like us to dedicate the kirtan for you, for anyone in your family, either you may be celebrating your birthday, your anniversary, or if anyone in your family is sick and you want us to pray and dedicate the kirtan for them, please send us a message and we would love to dedicate the kirtan for any of you. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna. Thank you all so much for your wonderful comments. Thank you.
Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Nama Om Vishnupriya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimati Bhaktivedanta Swami Nityanamine Namaste Saraswati Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Vishatari Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta-vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Rama
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare
Krishna Krishna, Hare Jai Shri Gauranga Mahaprabhu ki Jai.
Jai.
Srila Prabhupada ki Jai.
Hare Krishna, before we open up the lines, we'll quickly announce the quiz questions for today.
First, what is the mystical pastime Srila Lochan Das Thakur describes?
Second, why Lord Chaitanya is compared to mad lion?
Third, what is the confidential message that Lord Chaitanya said to Lord Nityananda?
Fourth, why receiving chastisement from the spiritual master is a great honor?
Fifth, what is the Phala Stuti of listening to these transcendental pastimes?
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Ranjani Gopika, for these wonderful, very, very awesome quiz questions. And we look forward to hearing from you the answers for these quiz questions. You may choose to answer on the YouTube platform or on the Facebook platform, or you can personally message any of the admins. So please do participate in the quiz. Now we may open up the lines. Hare Krishna.
For any questions or comments that you may have?
Hare Krishna, Jai Jai Shri Radhe.
Hare Krishna.
I want to wish Ma and Baba a very, very happy anniversary, and even Bhaiya, your parents, a very, very happy wedding anniversary.
Thank you. Thank you.
May Lord shower all His choicest blessings on him. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you so much for such beautiful class, nectarian bhajan, everything. And the story of Srila Prabhupada was so beautiful. Very, very touching. Like how they can also knows what's going in our mind. How can they read our minds, the way Lord can read our minds. So this shows the gurus are guide us so well. Thank you for everything. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, dear. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna. Vinita Mataji, Hare Krishna.
Krishna Prabhuji, Hare Krishna
Thank you,
Mataji.
Prabhu.
First of all, congratulations for the anniversary of all the parents, both the parents. I wanted to share a personal experience with the context of Prabhupada knowing how our minds, like reading our minds.
Oh, yes,
Like,
please.
can I do it? Can I share it?
Please, please.
Yeah,
Yes.
actually, my daughter Karishma was married for almost 2 years, and she faced some personal trouble, like she was struggling through her marriage life, and she happens to come home. And that day, I had a class. I used to visit Juhu ISKCON, and I stay at Kandivali, like quite far.
Mm.
So she said that, and she was in tears, like she was facing some personal issues. So I didn't want to miss the class. I took her to the temple. I told her, instead of sitting and listening all this, let's go, because I never wanted to miss my class. So we went to Juhu temple. I left her in the temple place, and I went to the class because the class takes place at a different building.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why I did it, but I did it. I couldn't see her also, and I had no solution to it. And it seems behind, she says Prabhupada just next to his
Sorry, Nadia, you are breaking up.
it's where
Can
he is
you
seated.
repeat after
He
saying
experienced
it
a
seems?
vibration between that and talk. She was never interested. She just used to follow me. Hello?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, please continue.
Now is it okay?
Yes, much better. Yes.
Yeah. So she she experiences this vibration, and they happen to talk. So she speaks her suffering to him, and she says, if you release me from this, I will give you 5,000 rupees.
Mhm.
That's what she tells him. And he tells her, I don't want your money. If you really want to get freed from this, I want you to chant 2 rounds every day.
Hare Krishna.
And yeah, and then she says, okay, I will do it, without realizing like how it's going to be and all, how she's going to start. And they had a deal. And that day, while returning in the train, by the time from temple to the station platform, Andheri station platform, she tells me all this. And as a mother, I was worried, like, and her mother-in-law calls up that I want to have a meeting today only with you. So I said, welcome. Yeah, welcome home. So she told me what time you'll reach. I said at so and so hour I will reach. So she said, okay, I'm coming home. So I was quiet. She told me that she shared this experience with me. We went home, and believe me, Mataji, everything fell in place. How, why, I really don't know. It was a difficult scenario, but it fell in place. And this girl started chanting 2 rounds every day. Otherwise, she used to follow me be with me to Jew temple just to have my company. Like thinking, why am I traveling by train? Why am I going? But that was my personal choice because I enjoyed all this. And after that, she starts donating also. Means Prabhupada made her chant also. He made her shell. It is really great. I wanted to share this, that what you said about this, no, it is actually we have experienced it. So now the touchwood, yeah, she's blessed. And she's got a baby boy who was born on Narsimha Jayanti. He's 9 months. Yeah, on that same tithi, yeah. Yeah. And this is like real. And he's speaking to her, like who has never been a devotee, like it's something very like difficult to digest, but it has happened. It has happened. And the way she speaks, Mama, he told me, I don't want your money. I want you to chant 2 rounds. So this is actually true, like tried and tested.
Thank you so much for sharing this. Thank you.
Yes, Mataji, there's so much to speak, but then this I didn't want to miss out, like it is really nice. And today she is a silent devotee at home because she's in a difficult family, but she's working through it. And they have started following slowly, like maybe that's her role over there. Like I feel it that way.
Yeah, definitely. Krishna has a plan. Srila Prabhupada has a plan.
Yes. And she believes him so much. She has, I don't know, she keeps doing small things, but she is into it. Yeah. Thank you.
Wonderful.
Thank you.
Slow and steady wins the race.
Yeah, hopefully. Yeah. Till date, we cannot forget that day, Yeah.
Amazing. Thank you.
I'll send you on your personal chat her picture with her family. And she's actually blessed, Yeah.
Please do.
Yeah. But honestly, this journey, this process is amazing. There are no words.
Yes.
Yeah, it is. But this is what I wanted to share. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Anybody else?
Hare Krishna Mataji Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam. All glories goes to Srila Prabhupada and Gurudev. Thank you so much, Prabhuji and Mataji, for a wonderful nectarian session. The first half is emotional kind, and next half you told about the story, right? We really enjoyed the story, and how Krishna is the supreme shelter for all of the devotees. He knows everything in and out. Yeah, I also experience with Krishna. Whenever I win moan, he will send some other devotee to call me and help me and guiding me. Yeah, I realized through you both also, I realized you helped me a lot last year when I was suffering because of some miseries in my personal life, and you both guided me and mentored me, and give more chanting in a proper way, so that nothing will be happen in your life like that. You advised me. I'm following the same till now, and thank you so much. Really, we loved the session. And bhajan also, thank you so much for giving a wonderful bhajan, and wish you happy a very anniversary wishes for both of your parents. Convey my wishes, and ask them to bless all of us, including you both also. So we need to travel in our spiritual journey, right? So thank you so much for giving this opportunity to wish them. Thank you again. Hare Krishna Mataji Prabhuji. Thank you.
Dandavat Pranam. Thank you for your sincerity as well. Hare
Thank you.
Krishna.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you.
We also learn a lot from you in terms of your sincerity in your example. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhu. Anyone else?
Hare Krishna Mataji Prabhuji.
Hare
Hare
Congrats.
Krishna.
Congratulations to both the sets of your parents.
Thank you. Thank you.
Mataji, we all have seen your parents. We would love to see Prabhuji's parents, siblings.
Yes, for sure.
That's one nice wish of mine.
Yes, yes.
Prabhuji, do bring them also one day on the screen and let us all have their blessings.
Yes, yes. We'll definitely bring them one time.
Yeah. Thank you, Mataji Prabhuji.
Thank you so much. Hare Krishna. Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Anyone else?
We wish happy wedding anniversary to both the families, Mataji and Prabhuji. Please
Thank you.
convey our message to them. We wish we could take darshan today, dear darshan. Your mom and dad and Prabhu's mom and dad. We are so.
Yeah, we invited them, Baba Ma, but maybe they're busy for some
They
reason.
might have gone for, darshan,
Darshanarti or
and
something.
Mummy Papa are also actually a little tied up today. So, but we'll definitely bring them sometime. So
Yes.
Thank
Yes. Thank you so much. Hare
you
Krishna.
so much, Champaka. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Oh wow. This is from Anju Agarwalji. Anju, thank you.
Thank you.
Such a beautiful wish. Many devotees have sent their wishes for both our parents. So we are so grateful to all of you for sharing these things. Thank you. We are so grateful. Hare Krishna.
Yeah, Hare Krishna Mataji and Prabhuji. So
Hare.
our wishes to your parents, Mataji. So
Thank you.
wedding anniversary wishes to them. So we are really ask them to bless us. They have got such a nice children like you, both of you. So please ask them to bless us, Mataji. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much. It's wonderful to hear from you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji, one more thing. Actually, our anniversary for our Gauramrita Sundar is coming, Mataji. 14th is our first anniversary, Mataji.
Yes,
So tomorrow
yes.
you can dedicate. Tomorrow you can dedicate the kirtan for them, Mataji.
Definitely. We'll do that. We'll definitely do that.
Yes.
Just send me a
So,
message personally. Please send
yes,
me a
Mataji,
personal
sure.
message and we'll definitely do that. Of
Yeah,
course.
thank
and
you so much. By your mercy, only we got the Gauramrita Sundar, Mataji. So please bless us.
No, it's your sincerity that they have come to you. So you can give darshan to everyone also after the session tomorrow.
Yeah, sure, Mataji.
Wonderful.
Thank you, Mataji.
Mataji.
Yeah, thank you. Hare Krishna. Dandavat Mataji. Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
All right, if there are no other questions or comments, we can end here. Thank you all so much for your chat messages and your prayers and blessings and congratulations. Thank you again. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Ki jai.